One, two, hey, check, check. I don't know if I can rap this shit. Yeah, hey, yeah. Look at my wrist, yeah, it's popping. Took the whole family shopping. Funny that you always flexing. Just saw your car at the auction. Niggas on IG be stalking. All these girls, too many options. Act like I don't hear you talking. Drop it and they just come flocking. I just don't let they satin. Then got Gorilla Gang tatted. I went like it's automatic. Passing these niggas is tragic. Wearing all black with no magic. You just got green in your ice. They all stop checking the facts, so I just stopped treating them nice. I see you looking, I see you watching. Wasn't too long ago, we was just talking. I'm sorry you hate me now, and I don't mean that I'm sorry for me. I'm just sorry for you, cause you won't get to see what a high king can do when he's given the chance to become what he knew he could. Now my shit's popping, oh, and I'm shocking. I'm just from Buffalo, I shouldn't make it. Was right by my auntie, but that woman hated me. Good at pretending for everyone faking it. Now I'm awake and I see why they made the choice to kick me out just as soon as I made the choice. Now I'm a king, yeah, that's the thing. Happens a lot. Fatherless kids, yeah, we come by the lot. Changing shit whether you like it or not. He would come like it or not. Look at my wrist, yeah, it's popping. Took the whole family shopping. Funny that you always flexing. Just saw your car at the auction. Niggas on IG be stalking. All these girls, too many options. Act like I don't hear you talking. Drop it and they just come flocking. I just don't let they satin. Then got Gorilla Gang tatted. I went like it's automatic. Passing these niggas is tragic. Wearing all black with no magic. You just got green in your ice. They all stop checking the facts, so I just stopped treating them nice. Fuck the whole industry, music and media. Started my own shit, I don't think they feeling me. I just don't get it, so fuck it. I'm done with all this luck shit. Y'all think y'all scaring me, so I address it. But now all your niggas is running. All of your mouths is just running. No talent, but your shit is funded. Now all y'all think y'all real funny. Clown flexing with that fake money. Can't buy shit without real shit, so you rent shit cause you real dummy. Just invest in mine like a broker. New money come.
Swole, Normuff.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing, 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 test, 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 testing, 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 test, test, testing, testicles, testing, testicles, testicles, testicles. Welcome everyone to episode 1193 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beercast, broadcast, gangcast, mancast, pimpcast, sleevescast, and slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What is going on, beaches, booshes, busters, hustlers, and ye old hoes? What is going on, ye sluts? What's going on, ye beaches? What you pumping today? What's going on, Nicolas? What is up, Matthew? Sheep, smiley face. Does vagina fit my macros? Maybe if you eat enough, ya beesh. Why the hate on cardio? I don't know. I'm not hating on cardio. It's just the title of an episode. So we didn't hate on anything. Everyone's expecting hate before anyone even opens their fucking mouth. You guys are negative people. Don't be so negative. There's no hate on cardio. It's just not necessary for most people's goals. And we're going to talk about that today. It's a good thing. You can do cardio. There's nothing wrong with cardio. There's nothing wrong with cardio. What is wrong are people that are training the wrong things for different goals. That's the problem. Most people don't understand the purpose of cardiovascular activity, and most people have no concept of what hard work actually is in the gym and proper nutrition, which is why there is this discrepancy between, oh, if you do cardio, you're going to lose gains. Well, if you don't eat enough food and you focus on doing cardio more than lifting weights, yeah, you're probably not going to develop optimal muscle. If you're eating enough food and eating enough calories and you're training hard and your body is adapting to the stress that you are stimulating it to adapt to, you're going to build muscle and it's going to be fine. Anytime you bias your training one way or the other, it's going to shift that direction. Episode is over, everyone. However, episode is over. We just answered the question, but we'll talk about it in a little bit more depth. So right now you can drop your questions or your comments about cardio. Let's get a little of a round table and I'll introduce you and kind of tell you where you can find everything if it's your first time catching live, but drop it in the comments below what you do for cardio and how often you do cardio. I don't really touch that much upon cardio in, for example, like my training, in my programming, because people are going to add in what they're going to add in. I think cardiovascular capacity, just like any other activity with the human body, it should be something that is addressed. It should be something that you have capacity for. And then after that, it comes down to what you want to actually accomplish. Does it require you to do cardio for an hour 6 days a week? If it does, then you should be doing cardio for an hour 6 days a week. If you're doing endurance training, if you're an endurance athlete, if you're trying to run a fucking marathon, if you have these lofty goals for cardiovascular capacity, you're going to have to do more cardio. You need to give your body the overload that it's going to need to adapt to. And if you don't, it won't adapt. And if you do, it has a chance to adapt. So it's important to remember why you're training and what you're training for. So cardiovascular capacity or cardiovascular training, cardio is the heart system, the cardiovascular system. All you're doing is you're stressing that. That's what cardio is. Most people don't use the word properly. It's your heart system, essentially. You're pumping blood. You're training your heart, which is good. Now, overtraining your heart and doing tons of intense cardio and doing it all the time, just like any muscle, you're taxing your heart. You're taxing your respiratory and your cardiovascular system. The more you do that, and if you do that on a strenuous level, that could possibly be negative over a long term. But I'll let everyone else decide that and do their own research and experiment with different concepts and different training styles and training habits. But more isn't always better. And you can easily overtrain with cardio, just like you can with resistance training. And a lot of people do too much cardio. A lot of people bias their training way too much to cardio. And that's not really a good idea. If you're trying to get benefits like physically, if you want to look good, and here's just my experience. If you want to look good, you got to lift weights. You have to eat properly and you got to lift weights. If you're not lifting weights and you're not eating properly and you're not focusing primarily on your lifting, you're leaving a lot of physique. You're leaving a lot of great benefits and fat metabolism on the table. When you're lifting weights, when you're building and breaking down lean muscle and you're rebuilding lean tissue, you're going to be metabolizing fats more often when you're at rest. You're increasing your body's need for energy. If you are working on developing lean muscle and lean mass and you're stressing yourself with resistance training, that's what your body's going to have to maintain. That's where your calories are going to go. Where do you think your calories are going to go if you're not doing anything? Energy. When you drive your car, when you drive your car, you use gas. So you have to go to a gas station and fill up. When you do things with your body, when you do exercise, your body uses gas. Then the food that you consume is fuel for that activity. If you don't give your body enough fuel, you don't put enough fuel in your mouth, your body's going to be like, well, we got a spare tank over here. We have some extra energy over here. Let's take from that. That's it. Your body will take from where there's still energy because you have little gas tanks around your body. It's called fat. And when your body isn't getting enough through the face and through the mouth, you're going to take from different areas on your body. And it's not necessarily where you want it to be. It's not always where you want it. You can't spot reduce fat, but your body will provide energy from these fat stores. If you're using your muscle, here's why lifting's so important. If you're using your muscle, your body is going to maintain that muscle. Does that make sense? It's more likely to maintain that muscle because it's being used. If you are not lifting weights, your body really doesn't have a lot of reason to maintain lean muscle mass. It's not going to maintain lean muscle just because you want it to. Oh, lean muscle is a good thing. My body's going to want to keep it. Your body only wants to keep lean muscle if you're using lean muscle. Your body wants to maintain things that it's going to use. So it's going to adapt. If you're not lifting weights, your body's not going to maintain muscle. It's not going to keep it around. If you are lifting weights, your body is going to repair that muscle or try to optimally because it knows that you're going to expose it to resistance over and over again. So it's going to repair that muscle tissue. It's going to send energy and resources to make that muscle bigger and stronger and have more endurance, whatever it is, to handle the stress that you're putting it on or under at the gym. It's very simple. Your body will adapt. So when it comes to the title of this was very catchy, cardio versus gains. A lot of people think that if they do cardio, it's going to zap their gains, as if your body just, he's doing cardio. We just eat muscle. We're just going to crush muscle down. We're going to grind it up and spit it out just because you're doing cardio. It's not cardio eats muscle and lifting weights builds muscle. That's not how it works. It's all about that energy balance and where your body can get that energy from. If your body can't find energy from the system, if not enough is coming, like your body's going to get energy, period. Your body is going to get energy, period. That's literally how it's going to work. Your body is going to get energy from somewhere. Think about it this way. If you want to simplify it even more, your body is going to get energy, period, end of fucking story. The difference is how and where your body is going to get that energy from. What's most easily accessible for your body to get that energy? What's the best place for your body to find that energy? Where's the best place? Where is your body going to get that energy? That's what's important. Where's your body going to actually find it? If you're not providing it with enough, it's going to take it from fat storage. It's going to take it from muscle tissue. That's what will happen. If your body does not know where to get the energy, it's going to take it from wherever it can. That's going to happen. Your body is trying to survive. If you always come back to no matter what, no matter we're talking about nutrition, whether we're talking about training, resistance training, cardio, CrossFit, strength training, high reps, low reps, it doesn't matter. Your body is always trying to survive. Your body is always trying to survive. Your body is always trying to live to make it to the next day. It's survival of the fittest, but survival of the day. Who wins the day? Your body is going to do whatever it takes to live to see another day. Your body is going to take energy from wherever the fuck it can. Wherever the fuck it can. If your body can only get it from fat and you don't have any muscle in your body is going to take it from fat. If it has to take it from organs, if it has to take it from muscle, it's going to take it from wherever. Your body is surviving. Bottom line, end of story, your body is going to make it till tomorrow any way it can. Your body's not optimizing itself for you having abs. It's not trying to get rid of arm fat versus belly fat. Your body doesn't give a shit where it gets the fat from. It wants to get it from areas where it might have to worry about it the least. Do you think your body wants to get rid of belly fat first or arm fat? Think about why it's hard to lose some of these areas. Just from an evolution standpoint of survival, forget about aesthetics, forget about hormones and things like that. Think about why. What from an evolution standpoint, why do you think the body doesn't want to get rid of belly fat? Because it has fat around where the organs are. Your body is packing on fat and storing energy around where it's going to need it the most. Your body's not trying to maintain the humerus. You don't have arm fat or extra flab on your tricep because your body needs the tricep for survival. There's certain areas where your body is most effective at storing fat. And the reason why your thighs and your hips and your waist, it gives protection to the organs. It also puts energy closer to where those important structures of the body will need energy. Your body doesn't have to maintain a thigh. You can live without a thigh. You can live without legs. You can live without arms. Your body keeps the fat and the energy, the stored energy, around where it needs it the most. That's it. Your body wants to keep that extra energy nearby, near where it needs it. So you're going to take from the face. Your body is going to get rid of fat from the forearms, from the biceps, from under the arms, from the upper back, from the feet, from the calves. Your body is going to get rid of fat elsewhere before it gets rid of that thigh and that belly fat. That's just how it's going to work. Your body's priority is not to get rid of fat in the most important areas. Your body is from the evolutionary standpoint, your body is going to get rid of the stuff that needs the least first, and then it will eat away as much as it needs to, where it has to survive. That's just straight up fucking logic. You can go and check out research studies and talk about cortisol, and cortisol does this. Use common sense. Think about it. Your body does not want to, you don't need finger fat. You don't need a finger. Your body will cut off a finger and lose a finger before it loses the hand. Where do you get frostbite? You don't get frostbite on your fucking heart first. You get frostbite on your nose, on your fingertips. Your body starts bringing in heat and energy and warmth and blood to the center of the body and will literally sacrifice limb after limb until it can survive. Your body will gratefully let the arms and legs just fucking die off to save the body. It's just evolution. It's a defense mechanism. And that's extreme, but that's what literally does happen. So when it comes to losing fat, and if you're struggling, and you're wondering why you're struggling, and you're really frustrated because you can't get rid of that little extra bit of fat, and you wonder, I mean, that's really why. That's essentially why. It's a defense mechanism. So it's going to stay there the most, but that's why your body has fat. It has extra energy. So all you need to do is create a deficit. You need to create this scarcity of calories. You need to create this scarcity where an environment where you don't have these calories available or less calories than you require. So if you require 3,000 calories because you're exercising and you're moving and you are consuming 2,000 or 2,500, you are consuming less energy than your body requires for your activities of daily living and your exercise. Very simple. So where does your body have to get the energy from? Somewhere else. Well, you're not eating enough. So where's your body going to get the energy from? From the stores in your body. Simple. End of story. That's what's going to happen. You're utilizing more energy than your body has or is available through consumption. And over time, your body is going to start picking away from the extra stores in your body. It's a deficit. It works. It's science. It's conservation of energy, and it's infallible. This is literally some of the fundamental science that allows us to make iPhones. These are like the basic fundamentals of our existence that we are aware of. This is the basic, as literal as it gets. Are there other factors that can relate? And stress levels and how stress levels can skew hormones and bias us more towards maybe retaining fat even when we should be losing more off. Yeah, there are all these little subtle variables, but let's look at it from the most basic standpoint. If you don't have enough energy coming in and you're utilizing more, guess what? You're going to lose. You're going to lose. Like, where are you getting this energy from? How are you going to maintain weight? Tell me, how are you going to maintain weight? How are you going to maintain your body weight if you are not consuming enough energy? Where are you getting it from? People act like they're going to be in a fucking caloric deficit. Oh, I eat in a deficit. I just can't lose weight. Bull fucking shit. It's not possible. It's not possible for you to maintain weight. How are you maintaining weight? How are you maintaining weight? How the fuck are you maintaining weight? And the audio is dead on. If you have any kind of audio syncing, it's your browser. Just close it and open it up again. This is literally the basics. This is the fundamental basics. Where are you getting it from? Are you just creating energy? Do you have these little fucking orcs, these little cave trolls in your stomach? Boom, boom, like Lord of the Rings. Dum, 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 dum. Drums in the deep, and they're just fucking creating calories in your stomach. Just creating calories, just out of fucking nowhere. Where are you getting it from? Where are you getting these calories from? All you magical weight loss anomalies. You just can't lose weight. How can I lose weight? I don't know what to do, but I eat healthy and I've done this and I've done that. Well, you're still eating too much. Well, how is that possible? I don't know. Are you tracking it accurately? Yeah, well, that's why you're not paying attention. I really don't think you have to count calories that closely if you're eating proper food. Most people won't have to. I'm not saying you should do intuitive eating. I'm moving far and farther away from that. But I do not think that once you get experienced, I think the long-term goal is not counting calories. I think that's natural. I think people that have addictions that have no concept of how much they're eating should be very careful by just completely throwing out all calculations whatsoever. You need to learn. You need to learn how much X amount of food is. You need to learn from scratch, because a lot of you, when you were starting out, when you were beginners, you never learned this. When you were 3 years old, 5 years old, 9 years old, you never learned portion control. You grew up in a family that was overweight. You just ate whatever you wanted. And all of a sudden you grow up and you're overweight, and you wonder why you just can't eat. And every time you cut calories a little bit or you monitor it, it feels like you're not eating enough food. You're just so used to, think about those habits. You're so used to eating whatever you want. You're so used to getting 2 servings and 3 servings and loading up your plate and seeing a full, complete, overflowing plate. That's why you're just habitually used to eating so much. You're anything less than a full, overloaded fucking plate doesn't make sense. It doesn't look like you have a meal. You're just not used to eating the right amount of nutrition. You're not used to eating. And then for those of you that are going to cut down on calories because you're like, oh shit, I'm eating way too much, then you're going to feel hungry because you're not getting quality foods. If you start restricting your calories and you are not eating quality, Now you're restricting the volume of how many calories you're eating in a day, and the quality is not there. So you're going to be hungry because you're missing nutrients, and you're going to have a lot more cravings because you're not getting satisfactory food quality. That's a huge problem when people start talking about counting calories first. It has to be about food quality first. You can still talk about counting calories and being aware of your volume, but don't be counting shit food. Don't be eating 100 calories of cookies. You don't deserve that shit. That's where people fuck up. They count garbage foods. If you count garbage foods, then you're restricting your caloric intake, but you're not getting the nutritional value. You're not getting the vitamins and the necessary minerals. You're not getting the quality. You're just trying to hack the system. You're trying to have your cake and eat it too, probably literally. You're trying to count your calories, but still eat foods that you enjoy. I can eat foods I enjoy. I'll just portion control. That's miserable. Why don't you find better foods to eat and then get comfortable eating real portions, listening to your body when it tells you that it's fucking full, learning what a portion size is, learning what caloric value is, and then creating those habits where you don't have to count. All that counting or that not counting and intuitive eating, like what I do, I literally don't count calories, but I also know by looking at food how much it is for what I need. Am I always eating the same amount of calories every day? There's no fucking way because I'm eyeballing it. However, over years and years of measuring, of counting, of maintaining weight, of gaining, of losing, I can get a plate of food and know when I feel full, if I really need to eat more and I'm just feeling full because I haven't eaten a lot in the last couple of days, maybe I was fasting, or I need to back off and not eat too much extra of X amount of food or this amount of food. I know how to maintain in a range without micromanaging my food because I've learned. I have experience. I've been doing it for years. When you have people that are not used to fucking eating properly, start, hey, intuitive eating, listen to your body. Your body knows. No, it doesn't. That's why you're fat. Your body has no fucking idea of what it's doing. Your body has no idea what it's doing. It doesn't know. You weren't taught properly. You weren't taught in school. You weren't taught by your parents. You're not taught on TV. No one learns this shit. We barely have gym class in schools. You don't fucking know. Your body has no idea. There are sodas and candies in schools. You've been eating fake food and artificial food since you were in the fucking, like, in a stroller. Your body fundamentally doesn't understand processing natural foods from when you were a child. So your wiring, your hardware in your brain is fundamentally fucked up. Your sense of taste when you're eating junk food when you're a kid, when you're feeding your kids artificial and processed sugar and artificial sweeteners, your little babies and children's brains are being miswired. They are learning that, oh, these things are really sweet and they go in my mouth. So then other things that taste sweet that aren't artificially created to be hyper sweet, they don't taste sweet anymore. I don't like apples. They're not sweet. A lot of kids and people think today that fruit is not sweet. Now, I'm not saying that if you had your own orchard that the fruit wouldn't taste better. I mean, we're mass producing fruit to feed hundreds of millions of people, so the quality is always going to go down a little bit. But if you think that fruit isn't sweet, your taste buds are completely fucked up. Your taste buds are completely fucked up if you don't think that fruit is sweet. And it's the corn syrup. It's all these artificial sweeteners that don't create calories. They're artificial and they're not bad for you. We haven't seen any negative side effects in only in rats. Only in rats. It's only bad for rats, but rats don't have the digestive systems of a human, so we can't extrapolate that. So we're going to tell the public that it's safe. Maybe, maybe not. I don't think it's safe just from the mind trickery itself. I think you should be eating things that are actually sweet. And if something tastes sweet and is not providing you calories, there's some fucking crazy shit going on. Stop spamming my stuff with the what the health. People are going to watch a documentary or a biased documentary if they want to. Is that the vegan documentary? You got to be careful with documentaries, people. You got to be careful with all these biased productions. Doesn't mean that there aren't factual things in there, but anytime you watch a documentary on Netflix, it's biased, whether it's pro whatever. You have to just really, you can't trust those fucking things. It's all sourced. It doesn't matter. That's the whole point. You can pull any kind of opinions from any source. I'm not saying watch it or don't. I'm just saying you have to do your own research and you have to look through all the things, which most people don't. Most people aren't going to look through each study. Most people aren't going to look through each study. Everything from Just because it's something you don't want to hear doesn't mean it's not true. Just because you're, oh yeah, okay, Harry, just because you're saying it's true now, I have to believe you? Get the fuck out of here. Go watch your shit, bro. If you want to stay here, just don't spam the chat. But everyone, I mean, look, go watch it. I don't care. Go watch it. You're going to watch whatever you want. But here's what happens with all these, and I'll just touch on this for a second because we're talking about cardio and everything. But all these supplement companies, they reference studies. Everything. All these supplement companies, MDs, it doesn't matter. Bro, it doesn't matter if they're all MDs. Who do you think does studies? Scientists do studies. Every single supplement company out there has a study. They're referencing a study. A lot of times these studies have extremely small sample sizes and sample populations, maybe 6 people, maybe 10 people. You can't do a scientific study with 10 fucking people. You can, but it's not something that can be referenced for any type of correlation or causation. And a lot of these studies have extremely small sample sizes. They have extremely loose reporting. They are maybe funded by a biased company or research agency with other motives. So there's a lot of details that are overlooked in the actual study because 99% of people don't know how to read a study. So a supplement company will take from the title and maybe some part of like some preemptive conclusion like, oh, this will be a good idea for further research. What we found is that 5 people saw benefit from doing this. 5 people saw benefit from doing that. We'll have to do more research. The supplement company will take that study, slap it on their bottle, talk about how 5 people, they won't say the word 5, but they'll say, study shows that, increases this, increases muscle output, increases endurance, and put a little asterisk next to that on the front of their container. On the back, that asterisk will have the study, but no one's going to fucking go look at the study. Or the asterisk will say studies, located at this link on our website. So then you have to go to that website, go to that link, look at the study, look up that study, click on it, read the study, understand the study. No one's going to fucking do that for a supplement. They do the same thing with these videos. They do the same thing. That's not true either, Harry. I'm not even gonna address that. It's not true. A whole food vegan diet. Oh, if you want to go on a vegan crusade, this is not the place. But have fun in the comments. So anyway, that's end of story. Really, when it comes to, you have to make your own judgment. If you want to believe, you can believe. And here's the beautiful thing: you can believe, you can read, you can listen, you can follow, but it's about learning to formulate your own opinions without the bias. And that's very, very challenging because everything is biased. This podcast is biased simply because I'm speaking. I'm a human being with my own opinions, and I'm not trying to be impartial. I'm voicing my opinions as my podcast. If I want to say fuck veganism, I can. If I want to say go vegan, I can say go vegan. I just want you all to do your own research and do not go vegan just because you watch a documentary. If you do an elimination diet and it leads you down the road to, okay, I just literally feel better and I perform better on this type of diet, then that can be something you pursue. But there's a reason why 99% of people don't go down that road. It's just not natural for humans. So some people might pretend to have benefits from it, but the majority don't, because the majority don't see the benefit and don't feel the benefit and can't stick to it. But there are a lot of issues with the health industry in all aspects of food production. So I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, because even everything is sprayed, everything is processed in some way, everything is shipped around, everything has less nutrients than if you grew it yourself. And there are a lot of other issues with stress and management and nutrition that are kind of being much more of a bigger. And what's happening with our country, the obesity, the diabetes, it's not because people are eating meat. That's not why people are sick. It's not because people are not vegan. That's not why we're having the massive obesity epidemic and diabetes. It's because of the processed carbohydrates. It's because of the stress, the lack of exercise. Those fundamentals need to be addressed long before all this, biased documentaries get like it's not helping. That's not what the problem is. The problem is activity levels, and the problem is the fundamental quality of the food. Everyone's going to be a little bit different. Everyone's going to be different with what you find work best. But if you want to watch, research, just make sure you are doing your own research and research the researching. Research the research. If you just take things at face value, you're always going to find Oh, this makes sense. Sure, someone said words. They can make sense if you allow them to make sense. So make sure that someone earns your trust. I don't have all the answers, so it's fine for you to go and watch these things. I'm not going to hate on what your nutritional choices are. Just understand that the research doesn't mean it's wrong either, but research gets interpreted. Science itself, if you find any kind of research that has an opinion, it's either an article written around it. Science is neutral. Science is, here's what happened. Here are the facts. Let's study these facts and see if that's consistent. People write articles, people write journal papers, and all these different things that extrapolate the hard data and then add their bias. Sometimes the studies themselves are biased, the actual research, but when people start talking about them, make a documentary, you have a doctor talking about and referencing a study, then you have music, and then you have the lighting, and then you have the visual overlays, and you have the tone, and you have the title, and you have the distribution and the marketing. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors. And the Game Changers video has already been debunked. All the people in it, that's been poked holes through tons, Harry. Sorry to burst your bubble. So anyway, so let's get back to the main topic, cardio versus gains. So we'll talk about, those of you that are just tuning in live, we were just talking about nutrition a little bit in the comments, but I'm coming back to YouTube. If you want your question featured or answered, or you want your comments more addressed, make sure that you, if you're on Instagram, go follow on YouTube at Daily Swole Podcast. So attention is always primarily over on the multicast, where you get the high quality audio, and may be winding down and ending streaming on Instagram. So make sure that you subscribe over there so you get the Daily Swole Podcast, because it's very possible that the live streaming will be stopping on Instagram for the podcast in the near future. So make sure that you follow over here. That way you can catch the live streams. Let's see. Shifra K, question about the elimination diet. You are slowly integrating back food after a month or two to see your body's reaction. What do you actually eat the first month, please? Oh, we're not going into the elimination diet right now. I have blogs on my website and many other podcasts about it. So you can go, I would go and check out the Gain Train blog on swolenormousx.com and check out some of the previous content for all that breakdown. Elimination is about elimination. It's not about what you're adding. It's about what you're not having in your diet. And that elimination can be in different severities. You can do full eliminations. You can do partials. More is better in general. Nutrition should be a mandatory class in all high schools. I agree. Excellent. Thank you, Tanvira. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Get some Papa Swolio Cam. So cardio versus gains, for those of you that are just tuning in, we were discussing the fundamental part of this episode was about increasing your cardio or doing cardio and having issues building muscle. And there are a lot of people that avoid cardio because they're afraid it's going to kill their gains, and a lot of people that do too much cardio and wonder why they can't make gains. So in terms of how much cardio you should be adding, if you are hesitant or you're not sure how much cardio you should be adding or you should be adjusting, always add in less before you add in more. And it's going to come down a lot to the cardiovascular effort. So if you're doing intense cardio, it's going to affect your muscle growth for sure, because you're utilizing more calories, you're fatiguing your body. But then if you offset with the intensity versus the volume, how much and how often you're doing more intense cardio, that can alter things a little bit too. So if you're doing, for example, 2 hours of long, slow durations, LSD cardio, or you're doing 20 minutes of high intensity interval, like, high workload, low rest periods, and you're doing intervals like that, that's going to make a massive difference too. So the length and the overall output is going to, and the caloric burn, because if you're doing longer, slower duration, you might utilize less calories than if you do a shorter, more intense session. So whenever you're increasing your cardiovascular capacity, I think cardio is very important to health. I encourage everyone to practice yoga, and that's a great way to get cardiovascular benefits before maybe progressing to doing more higher intensity cardio, or to have that kind of good systemic recovery in your practice, because when you're doing yoga, you're going heart below your head and heart above, and you're doing inversions and you're rotating, you're twisting. So you're getting a lot of blood flow. You're getting a lot of that kind of venous return that you might not get if you're just sitting down all the time. If you're just sitting down, working out, sitting down, resting, you're not doing any active recovery. That's why yoga can really have some benefits. So there's cardiovascular benefits to practicing yoga too. Also, if you are doing warm-ups for your training, how many of you do warm-ups? How many of you do warm-ups in terms of before you do workout sessions? I go on one of those step mills where the cardio, the steps are actually rotating. I do that for about 10 to 20 minutes before I train. So I'll get to the gym, go to the bathroom, get my headset on, take out my phone, maybe I'll answer some questions, maybe I'll post a video, post something, answer some comments, go live for a couple minutes, do a story. I'm fucking around on the step mill, getting my heart rate up, a general warm up, getting my body primed for exercise. It's like running a car engine before you race it, just kind of getting it warmed up, getting loose, getting everything ready to go. And then I'll do some specific warm-ups. And then I'll go and I'll do some upward downward dog, and I'll loosen up and I'll do some running stretches or some lizard lunges and things for legs. And then I'll do my warm-up sets. So as I'm doing my dynamic warm-up, I'll do some light warm-up sets. So I'm slowly translating all that general warm-up, focusing it towards those specific areas that I'm training, mobilizing the spine, mobilizing the ankles, getting everything a little bit more specific to what I'm going to do for that workout session, whether it's legs, whether it's back, chest, triceps, whatever it is. So I'll do 10 to 20 minutes, and then I'll do 5 to 10 minutes of like specific warm-ups. So it's going to be about 10 to 30 minutes before I'm actually working out. Never just go to the gym and just start smashing. Never just go to the gym and just start crushing weights. Never just start going, just walk in and start lifting. You got to warm up. I'll do some dead hangs. I'll open up the shoulders. Always transition as often as you can help it into resistance training. Don't just jump straight fucking in. So you're getting, or for me, I'm getting cardio. I'm getting cardiovascular benefits. I'm getting cardiovascular training. I'm exposing my body to cardiovascular activities before I do my specific warm up. So I'm doing 10, 20 minutes on the step mill. So I'm doing my cardio. I'm doing some cardio. I'm not actually doing intense cardio. I'm warming up. So I'm not doing hard, but I'm giving myself that exposure. So in terms of my personal approach to training and my personal programming, I don't go to the gym and have a cardio session. I never have. I never really do that. It's not my thing. So I don't personally go and, okay, today's a cardio day, and I went to the gym and I did cardio. If I go to the gym and I'm doing cardio, it's just for my warm up. I don't go and just do cardio. I'll go and I'll do a yoga class. So, I mean, if you've never done a yoga class, if you've done a vinyasa flow, you've done a challenging vinyasa flow, talk about cardio. Like I'm sweating. Maybe not necessarily as out of breath, but it's giving me more benefits than just kind of stepping, walking. I think all types of cardio is great. People ask me all the time, what do you think about swimming? I think it's all great. Human movement is fantastic. Human movement is great. There's nothing wrong with it. It's all fantastic. But if you're swimming a lot, it's going to affect how much muscle you can build. It's very taxing on the body, and it's very energy depleting. And not everyone has access to a pool. It's not always convenient. So for me to be here and be like, oh, swimming's the best cardio, depends on what the application is. If you don't live near a pool, if you don't have access to a swimming pool, if it drains you and it's affecting your ability to lift, then it's not the right thing for you. What do you want to accomplish? Every single one of you listening and watching, no matter what you want to do, you have to come back to what are you trying to accomplish? And then your cardio will fit that bill. Are you trying to build maximum muscle? If you're trying to build maximum muscle, then crushing cardio multiple times a week is not the best idea. If you're trying to improve your cardiovascular capacity, manage your weight, you're not really as concerned with maximizing muscle growth, that could be something you can add in more frequently, and maybe you find benefits and you're fine with it. You're fine with doing cardio 3 times a week for half an hour, not going too intense. You like it as part of your routine. That's cool. This whole game we got going on, all of us, this is a game. You're playing a game. You're playing to win, but there is no winning. Does that make sense? Everything that we're doing here, everything that we're discussing, even before about nutrition, we talk about carnivore and vegan and eating meat and this documentary and that. It's all a game. We don't have the answer. We don't have the answer. No one fucking knows the answer. We have different people making different videos and having different studies and making different sites and having different podcasts and different this and different that. There's a reason. There's a reason why you have all these different voices, because there's a lot of different things that work for a lot of different people. It doesn't make one thing wrong and one thing right. We do not have a right answer. Otherwise, there would be a right answer and everyone would fucking do it and everyone would get amazing results. It doesn't matter what the nutrition plan is. If you can't stick to it, it's not going to work. And I don't see any vegans that are living to be 150. So what's the real benefit? What's the real difference? No one's living super, super fucking long. We don't have people that are just living to be 150 all of a sudden. People are still dying 80, 90, the same as they always have been. But now we're maybe staying a little bit alive longer, but not healthy because we're on medication. So what are we determining? How are we determining living longer and better? How are we determining health? How are we determining what's best for our bodies? By long life, by quality of life, by when we're on medication, by are we able to squat X amount of weight? Like what's the determining factor to be like, oh, this is better? Says who? Says who? I mean, where's all the evidence? And there are too many factors to cover in any of these studies. So we have to pull from these metadata. We have to pull from all these correlations and be like, oh, this study showed this and this study showed this. So maybe that might mean, but you can't normalize for all these different variables. It's really complicated. It's really complicated. And it's not that I don't encourage finding out the best answers. Find it out. But or are we going to be alive when we have that answer? Because some of these studies need to be done really regulated and really controlled over the course of like 50 or 100 fucking years. By the time we actually find out, we're going to be gone. We're going to be fucking gone already. So we're not going to have the answer in 10 years. You think we're going to know this is the best way to eat? We have no fucking idea. We're already creating meat. We're already creating fake meat and plant-based meat and meat in a lab. Here's the thing. Whatever keeps human beings surviving, that's what we have to do, because we're running out of food. We won't stop fucking. We're not regulating how many kids people can have. And I think probably should be, to be honest. We're overpopulated like crazy in this world. We just keep on fucking because we're on this earth to survive and fuck. That's what human beings are for. That's what we're here for. We're here to fuck and eat and spread like a virus. So whatever keeps us alive, and while we minimize people's suffering, like that's what we have to do. If we have to eat fake meat, then we'll eat fake meat. We're not there yet, but there are a lot of things, a lot of issues that people aren't paying attention to, like global warming and real fucking problems that people are just ignoring for social media stuff and for politics and things. Well, there's a lot of stuff that isn't being addressed. How can you? We have 7 billion people. How do you coordinate 7 billion fucking people to save the planet? Everyone just wants to make some money, get laid, have a drink, and watch some Netflix. That's what people really want to do. That's what people really want to do. Everyone just wants to Netflix and chill. Everyone just wants to Netflix and chill. No one wants to deal with all this shit. Maybe Netflix is Skynet. Maybe that's the truth. Netflix is Skynet. They're taking over the world. Watch this TV show. Yes, master. Like the Minions. Yes. Oh. Every season's uploaded. Oh. I agree. The best exercise is the exercise that you end up doing. You think she's dead? I think EA Sports is Skynet. It's possible. Mary, the only way to find out what's best for you is to do it and see. We don't want to spend the time to experiment. You just want someone else to tell us what to do. I think that'd be the best. That's the best like summary. Oh, I got double comments up on the screen. Oops, excuse me. There we go. Most people don't want to try shit. People don't want to try things. People just want the answer. Always have. Most people just want the answer. It'd be great. I would love to have the answers. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this is the answer. The answer. I'll give you an answer if I have one. If I have experience. If I don't have experience, I'm not going to tell you this is the answer. This is the answer. This is how you have to train. This is how you have to eat. There's no other way about it. If you're not doing this, you're wrong. How can I say that? How can I say that to thousands of people? Let's say I'm talking to 7 billion people. How do you send one message out there that everyone's going to agree with? We just have to have a conversation. We just have to talk about it. But there are a lot of those, as much as for every single vegan documentary, there are like anecdotal carnivore people online and websites and videos about how people have cured all their issues. With any of these situations, whether it's vegan or carnivore or paleo or keto, most people that go on any kind of like regimented approach, whatever it is, they're usually cutting out a lot of these processed carbohydrates and cutting out a lot of garbage and artificial foods. That's usually a common theme. So whether or not you do diet A or diet approach B or C or D or E, chances are you're cutting out a lot of the crap. So of course you're going to see progress. And some people are going to see progress better with certain things than others. That's just how it works. So if you're cutting out a lot of junk food, doesn't matter if you're eating meat or not, you're going to see some benefits right away. You're going to feel better. Why? Because you're not sucking down so much sugar. You're not sucking down so much vegetable fucking oil. You're generally not eating garbage foods. You could be a junk food vegan. You could do keto and just be sucking down cheese and every kind of garbage fat too. You can do shitty junk food keto as well. It's about people need to be more independent. You need to be more independent and more, I guess, less psychologically broken. People need to be more independent with their decision making and understand that we have more control. You have more control than you give yourself credit for. Because you have Google, because you have this podcast and other sources of information at your fingertips, you can make better decisions. You can research, you can dig into these things more. You're not at the mercy. You're not a victim to just, it has to be paleo or it has to be keto or it has to be vegan or vegetarian. It doesn't have to be any one of those things. It can be a blend. Why can't you could be a vegan that eats meat. I mean, I guess you technically can. You're not a vegan, but you know what I mean? You could eat mostly plant-based things and still eat meat. You can dabble. You don't have to be all one or the other. Maybe you just want to eat a certain amount of meat that gives you a lot of the nutrients that you might be lacking. So you make sure you cover your bases and you don't want to give it up completely. Just because you have a little bit doesn't mean you're a bad person. But we like to make it seem like that person's bad. And I'll make a lot of videos. I'll put nuts on chin. I'll say all sorts of things. And yeah, I say a lot of things and I have a lot of opinions in the moment. And those opinions change rapidly. I might make a video about something or someone and my opinion changes the next fucking day. I change my opinions all the time about things. Some things are a little bit more ingrained and I think it's fine. I don't have to think any one way. I don't have to think any way for anyone's fucking approval. If tomorrow I want to be all vegan and I want to just preach that from the mountaintops, I'm going to. And I'm perfectly willing and I'm perfectly capable of doing that. Everyone is so hell-bent on what people think of them. That's why these channels for people that are vegan and that have real issues with their health, they're eating meat. Have you seen those things? Well, I did a video like several months ago about someone who got caught eating fish in a vlog somewhere. And she was a vegan. She built her whole channel off being vegan, but she was having major health issues. So on the DL, she was eating meat or fish and not telling people about it. So people were upset because she wasn't being transparent with her audience. However, they also hated on her because she was like, oh, how could you do that? How could you do this? How could you eat meat? How could you eat fish? And she was pursuing her own health. A lot of vegans tend to do that. They demonize people that are trying to pursue their own health. However, I mean, let anyone do their thing. Pursue your own health first. But it doesn't make you a bad person. But that individual and those channels are so afraid to come out and be honest. This was the point I was trying to make. So she was lying, not the right choice, of course. I'm not condoning, lying or not being transparent and keeping it secret. But because she was so afraid of that backlash, she had to keep it a secret. She had to keep it a secret and not tell anyone about it because she was so afraid that she was going to lose all her following. And of course you're going to lose people, but everyone's so militant, like this is the way, this is the answer. If you go against this, you're so blah, blah, blah. fuck, if you're trying to be healthier and you're transparent with people, they should support it. If you're a vegan and you're watching or listening to this and you feel great and your health has never been better and you feel amazing, that doesn't affect me at all. That doesn't affect me at all. I think that's fantastic. I think it's fantastic. I make fun of the mentality behind people that are like into CrossFit and into vegan, because you get this fucking like, yeah, it's the same thing with fat acceptance. It's the same type of like cult, like my way is the highway. I'm all in. You can't change my mind. That's what I make fun of. And it's like a vegan this or you can't. Yo, chill out with that. All right. You can do it. Like literally you could do what you want. You could believe what you want, eat what you want, do what you want. Cool. But stop talking about it like you found like the right answer and everyone else is wrong. That's the problem. When everyone else is just wrong. Look, I can make my opinion. I can critique someone. I can say and speak my mind about someone else, but I certainly don't care if that person changes. I'll make videos about everyone online, everything on the main channel, like that I'm talking nuts on chin. It's my opinion. Boom, move on. If that person doesn't like, okay, they don't have to watch the video and be like, oh my God, he said this about me. I'm going to change my ways. Do it or don't. I'm still going to make a video about it and move on. That's it. That's it. You move on. Don't worry about what other people are thinking about you. Do your thing. You have the ability to customize your nutrition. You have the ability to customize your training. But we get stuck in this mentality that we have to choose a already created or established way of doing it. Otherwise, we're not doing something. Well, you don't have to be full keto. You can be eating a lot of fat. You don't have to be full vegan. You could be eating some meat. You could be paleo. You could be whatever it is. Figure out what works best for your body and do that. And if someone doesn't like it, then they don't have to like it. That's cool. Let them not like it and then keep doing your thing. I just happen to have opinions and I share them and I tell you what I'm doing and I'm okay, fine. I just don't like it when people say, this is the answer, this is better, this is proof. No, it's not. No, it's not. Stop talking about, we don't even know where the fuck we are in the universe. So we don't know about nutrition like that. We don't have the details. We literally do not have an answer. Otherwise, we would say, oh, this is the answer. This has been proven. Everyone agrees. Not the case. So we can't. I don't know, Tim. I couldn't answer that question. Joanna on Instagram, I am vegan and I love it, but I think it is wrong to judge people that are eating meat. I don't think a vegan diet is perfect for everyone. Every diet has its problems. I wouldn't say every diet has its problems, but for an individual, every diet could have its pro and its con. I wouldn't say that any diet inherently has a problem. I think the problem is inherent to restrictive diets themselves, in the sense that when people think about vegan, it's like they can't stray, period. Like if I'm not eating meat, I can never eat meat again. It's an ideology. There's nothing wrong with staying between the lines of any one specific diet. However, if you're staying between the lines at the trade-off of your own health, and you're staying between the lines because, well, if I don't do this, I'm not paleo. If I don't do this, I'm not keto. You need to be putting your health and your own results number one. And then if it happens to fit within those lines, okay, cool. But if you need to stray and kind of customize and gray area shit, then fucking customize and gray area shit. It doesn't have to be that black and white. I just want to tighten people up. I want to tighten people up and not, so I'll call you out on your own bullshit. If you're not really eating properly, okay. If you're really not focusing on quality, go back to that. Again, whatever you settle on, if you settle on vegan, if you settle on carnivore, it's like, okay, but get there in a better manner. Don't just do it because, oh, my friend did vegan, raw vegan, and lost all this weight. Doesn't mean it's right for you. Do an elimination, figure out if that's where it leads you. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe you realize that keto is so good for you. You fucking love it. You're so happy you found keto. You're so happy you did it. And it's the best thing that you've ever tried in your life. You fucking love it. Okay. Not everyone agrees with that. Not everyone likes keto. Think about that. We have a lot of different things because a lot of different things work for a lot of different people. Go find what works. But start. I recommend everyone check out my blog, check out the previous podcasts and things I've done already on the elimination diet. I think that's the best approach. It hits everything. It covers for all aspects. Figure out where to start right there. And then if it takes you that direction, then it takes you that direction. You don't have to just jump to the conclusion. Don't jump to the conclusion. Work your way up. Work your way up. I sound a bit grumpy. Okay, I'm not grumpy. Just talking like normal. Normal episode, nothing different. I sound grumpy. Maybe you're hearing me grumpy. I'm fucking dropping fucking knowledge nuts. How much water should you drink? Plenty. You would like a video on this? You just drink water. That's a silly question. Drink water. Drink more. How much? You could, what is it? An ounce or 2 ounces per pound of body weight, or an ounce, something like that. Depends on your exercise output. Depends on your environment where you live. John, I used to do giant sets. In my experience, this gave me gains in push cardio. That or supersetting bench press and squats, major lifts back to back, need serious breathing. That's true. It'll affect strength. So like just like anything else, if you start kind of doing more of a shorter rest period, you know, superset type thing, it's going to affect your ability to produce strength. So it's like that trade-off. I'm a new listener. Can anyone explain the NOC thing? Nuts on chin. It's a video series in which I put nuts on people's chins. What explanation do you need for that? Nuts on your chin. The Papa Swole cam is the best, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't she lovely? Isn't she lovely? She literally hasn't moved. People are asking in the comments, is she dead? Is she sleeping? Is she dead? No, she's alive. She's alive and well. That's probably a good point. If you have to ask about water, you're probably not drinking enough. Probably not drinking enough if you have to ask. If you're not sure, it's probably not enough. Knowledge nuts. She's a little low for, yeah, she's punched out. She doesn't give a shit today. She doesn't give a fuck. She doesn't give a fuck. Some people still get upset about the nuts on chin. They don't get it. They're like, I don't like it. I don't like it when you put your nuts on people. Then don't watch the video. Not that anyone here was saying that, but I get that message sometimes. I don't like the nuts on chin. I couldn't make it through the first few seconds. And don't watch the video. Fine. People feel like they have to watch it, not like it, and then comment about how they didn't like it. Fine. You took extra time to comment about how you didn't like it rather than just go and watch something else. You had to leave a comment about how you didn't like something that I did. Go make your own videos. Go make your own videos about putting something else on people's chins. I'm putting nuts, and if you have nothing else better to say or to make about it, I'm going to continue putting nuts. Yeah. Since I say that food is like a drug, I mean, it depends on how it's made. Do you think that we need more strict FDA regulation? Or is the FDA doing what they need to do and it's just the American population and the way we see food? The latter part. The government works around the people for now. People allow it to happen. Human beings allow that shit to happen. Everyone's just passively. That's why, look, this podcast, can you imagine? The difference is, or here, I have 2 options. Let's say I want to get a message across. I can send letters to the government. You should stop making food this way and stop making drugs and stop making billions of dollars. That would be a waste of time. If we increase the conversation and get more people that are consuming, that are purchasing these foods and making these decisions and educating people and bringing awareness to it, then people are going to want different things. And the population has. Everyone wants more organic things. So, of course, they're profiting off the organic. And I'm not saying it's a perfect system, but if people stop purchasing certain things, they're going to stop making it. If people start being healthier and not requiring medication, then they're going to lower the cost of medication, or they're going to make different types of foods. It needs to start from the individual. It needs to start with the people. It needs to start with awareness. It needs to start in the houses, parents with their kids. It needs to be more independent of the government. You can't wait for the government because they're way too deep with money to change. What do I think about training and diets customized for body types? I think it's a load of fucking shit. Get that V-shred trash out of here, Jessica. V-shred for women? Get that fucking shit out of here. Get that mesomorph, get that somatotype shit out of my fucking face. Get it the fuck out of here. Golden Girl Fitness. If they don't like nuts on chin, maybe they prefer the knowledge cock. It's okay. We all have preference. I personally prefer both. That's what I like to hear. You like the nuts on the chin and you got both. You got it all here. You got it all here. You got it all here. Whatever you want. Whatever you want. I got what you need. John Kimball. I'm Detective John Kimball. I'm a cop, you idiot. Yow. Detective John Kimball. Yow. That was just that's the best name ever. Do you get that every day? If you haven't, you should. John Kimball. Your name is fucking John Kimball. Yow. I'm Detective John Kimball. I'm a cop, you idiot. I'm a police officer. Yow. I don't even think I want to answer your question. I think I just want to do Arnold accents with your name. One of the best movies ever made. Kindergarten Cop. After leg day, I hobble like an old man for 4 to 5 days. Is there a good way to reduce delayed onset muscle soreness with legs? Yeah, don't do so much volume. You're doing too much if you're hobbling for 4 to 5 days. You're not recovering properly, and you're probably overdoing your volume. Or you're not hydrating, you're not eating properly, not sleeping as optimally. Possibly. I don't know all the details just from that question. Trenta Lilly, how much actual credibility do you think an NASM certification gives someone? It allows people to know that they passed an exam. For me, it doesn't give you much credibility. It tells me that you know how to take a test. It gives the possibility of credibility. It means you could pass a test. It means you passed. It means you got a passing score on that exam, which means you have a minimum competency for that information. It doesn't mean you have command of it. So unfortunately, I want to say more because I do think it's one of the better, if not one of the best certifications for the general population. It's just, there's a big difference between getting a certification and the application of that certification. There's a huge difference. And I know this from personal fucking experience because I taught the NASM certification for trainers for years. So I prepared people to be trainers in a school to go out and work in the real world. So the application of training and how to train a person in real life is much different than what you'll learn from a certification. It's a big difference. How do you create a business? How do you keep people engaged and excited? And a lot of what you learn from certifications is boring fucking shit, and it's not applicable in a gym environment or with a client-based service. It's just it's a tough. It leaves open ends. So it doesn't mean that someone isn't qualified or doesn't have credibility, but it doesn't mean that they know how to give that information to their clients. So Instagram's going to end. Bye, IG. Instagram's over. Instagram's over. Cut off. I don't stop that shit anymore. I don't restart that shit. You're watching on Instagram, you're done. Go watch on YouTube. Come on over to the doc side, the Swole side. So it's only so much. It's only so much. You still have to step up and know your shit. Having a certification is only one thing. Great. I missed this podcast because I was catching up on this one. Yeah, but now you're back. Now you're back. Yeah, V-Shred. Fuck V-Shred. How long have I done pole work? Oh, you're asking someone else. I'm like, pole work? What do I think about smoking? Smoking what? If you want to smoke marijuana, that's up to you. If you want to smoke cigarettes, that's stupid. I have cigars now and again, but I certainly don't smoke cigarettes. You don't have like, oh, I have a cigarette every 2 weeks. No. If you're smoking, you're smoking. If you have a cigar, maybe it's once a month, once a week, once every 2 weeks. Knowledge snail trail. Knowledge snail trail. Oh, turn on those notifications. Turn them on. Nuts on chin is the best. Thank you. I appreciate that. My 4-year-old says, Mommy, bad words, and I put my earbuds in. My 4-year-old says, Mommy, bad words. Growing up fast with the Daily Swole. You should play the Daily Swole in the crib when your kids go to sleep. Yoga coffee, and now Papa Swoleo. In 10 weeks, I lost 20 pounds doing 30 minutes of strength training on Fitness Blender and 1 hour of sprinting and walking for 5 days every week. Good shit. Good shit. It's not a tumor. Y'all. It's not a tumor. Who's your daddy and what does he do? Y'all. Knowledge nuts are knowledge BOC, knowledge NOC are the exception, but I'm thinking the dudes out there not fond of nuts. It's true. A lot of dudes out there are down with the nuts on chin from this context. It's a very unique taste because obviously most of these guys don't want nuts on their actual chin. I don't think anyone, if you're That YouTube channel, my main YouTube channel, is kind of like a big troll. I mean, there's Ask Papa Swole. We got more Drive While Gaining. It's a lot of just fun shit that I want to do. And if you actually are listening to the main channel and you don't have that grain of salt, you don't understand the humor exactly. If you don't get it, you're going to take it really seriously and you're going to take it really fucking wrong. There's a lot of truth and a lot of legit information and opinions and stuff that we do on the main YouTube channel, but it's certainly like it's there for entertainment. Go have some fucking fun. You go to Swole Normus on YouTube. It's fun. It's a fun fucking time. I want you to have fun while you're learning and thinking about things different. Yeah, it's a unique taste. Get over it. Get over yourself. People get so butthurt. If I make a video about you, don't worry. I don't hate you as a person. Maybe I hate what you said, or I don't like what you stand for. But you as an individual, like anyone I make videos on, like I wouldn't spit in your face in person. I don't think we're going to be friends. But I don't like hate you as an individual. I don't wish you any ill will. I don't want you to die or anything. What do you think about the One Punch Man challenge? One Punch Man? The fuck is that? 10K run, 100 push-ups, 100 squats, and 100 sit-ups for any time. I think it sounds arbitrary and worthless. 100 One Punch Man? I think it's just one of those things that sounds cool on paper. Ooh, 10K, 100 this, 100 that. I wouldn't do it. Why would you do that? I have cried at my desk with my headphones on. See, that's what's important. Having fun. All the different Papa truths. That's true. See, that's the thing. I have different parts of me. I have different parts of my personality. There's different things that have to get let out in different ways. Sometimes I can put my nuts in someone's chin. Sometimes I have to go balls deep. Sometimes I can just fucking do it on a podcast. And sometimes I have to go drive while gaining and go fucking sometimes. Sometimes I have to just fucking go nuts. How sexually insecure would you have to be for the nuts on chin to make you feel uncomfortable? Go in those YouTube comments. You'll find some. Oh, they're out there. Oh, they're out there. People always, there's always something to be offended by. Welcome to the social media web. There's always something to offend someone. It's here for you. You want to get offended? We got what you need. Love the internet. Love internet. One Punch Man is an anime. Oh, that's what the character claims he did to become the strongest hero in the world. Well, that's stupid as shit. A 10K run, 100 push-ups, 100 squats, and 100 sit-ups, that will not make you the strongest man in the world. That's a really weak universe, whatever anime that is. That's the weakest universe ever. Oh, One Punch Man does 100 sit-ups. Oh, 100 squats. I'm saying it with like some really racist Japanese accent. Oh, he does 100 squat. He is an invincible man. What a great accent. Dead on. Dead on. People are too soft and can't take a joke. Agreed. If you can't take a joke, my content is just not for you. It shouldn't even be fitness without the bullshit. It should just be like, leave your bullshit at the door. This is fitness. This is lifestyle. This is politics and social issues. We talk about everything here on the podcast. I don't give a fuck. I will talk about it if I want to talk about it. If I want to talk about something, I'm going to talk about it. It's my podcast. That's why we're here. We can talk about whatever we want. If you all like it and we're all having a good conversation, that's what it's going to be. End of story. You just made it towards the end. We're about to leave here. It's your first live Swole. Everyone hit that notification bell. Make sure you get notified. Make sure you hit that notification bell. That way you know when we go live. Look at that picture. So sharp. We are happy to serve you. How many of you live like in New York City? You remember these cups? Obviously, this is not paper, but this is what they have at all like the delis and the little carts and stuff in New York City. Anyone that lives in Northeast, city time peeps? He does it every day. Some people on YouTube have done it. Who does? Me? Benny Boo? Every day, some people on YouTube have done it. Have done what? Oh, someone does. People do the workout. I appreciate you too, AZ, listening to some Swole while making some gains in my basement gym. I want to have a home gym. I'm stoked to have a home gym someday. Insulting my culture Fuck, bro. Outrage culture coming in. Dun, dun, dun. Smash that like. Nicholas is on the like patrol. Nicholas is the official like curator of the podcast. I appreciate that, Nicholas. Always like, fucking hit the like, smash that like button. And the like button. Yeah, smash it. Smash it. Smash the like. The steak and the sizzle. Jersey girl here. Do they have these in Jersey, or is it just because you're in Jersey? Or you're a Jersey girl, so you know New York City? They still have these in New York City, right? It's kind of like the classic. It's probably the only cup that's acceptable. It's probably a law. If you sell coffee in New York City, you have to use one of those little Greek cups. Oh, I spilled it. Oh, shit. I should use Papa Swole as like a rag. She's sleeping. It's all right. I'll wipe it up in a second. They do have them in Jersey. Emo Kid. Papa, can you do a 15 to 20 minute yoga video after a workout, such as a lift or HIIT training, or divide and make the time? You can, for sure. You can do a weight training, do yoga right after. Some people don't like to. Some people don't have the opportunity to, but you can. Just make sure you're hydrated. If you're not used to it, you can cramp. If you're that type of person that needs to hydrate a lot, just make sure you're hydrated. You can absolutely do yoga after. That's a great way to do it, is right after strength training. You can do it. You can totally do that. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, party foul. I fucking spilled it. A little bit. Oh, God. It got on the desk. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. I wish I could sleep like Papa Swolio. Doesn't everyone? She hasn't moved. Oh, she moved a little bit. She was giving you nip shot earlier. Now she's all curled up. I'm glad, silly gamer. So let's see. Hopefully you've checked out the latest YouTube drop. There will be another drop, most likely tomorrow. There's more Ask Papa Swolio, more Driving While Gaining, all that deliciousness coming up this week. And of course, tomorrow, episode 1194. Make sure you subscribe, like the podcast, and share it. But also hit that notification bell so you get notified when Papa goes live. And let me see. What else did I want to say? Oh, those of you that are Swolenormous X members and Daily Swole Club members, there's a new accountability meeting available in the private group. So if you missed it today at 12 noon Eastern time, that's available. And I announced new brain gains releases, new sessions for brain gains, and also a new yoga class is now uploaded. So go and check out that announcement in the private Facebook group, and it'll be in your account on Swolenormous X. So Daily Swole Club members and those of you that are X members, accountability meeting today. And if you want to learn more about the Daily Swole Club or Swolenormous X memberships, you can go and check out swolenormousx.com. And yes, that's why you're here. The quality of your video is so good. The beard in HD, upping the game. We've been upping the game. If you haven't watched in a while, you're gonna be like, holy shit. And everyone from Instagram comes over here and like, oh my God, why have I been watching on Instagram? This is so much better on YouTube. It's so much better on Facebook. That's why I've been saying it. Instagram's out. It's out of the loop. It's out of the loop. They don't get the love. They don't get the same kind of love. Anyway, I'm going to go do some recording, get some shit done. But those of you that are members, make sure you go and you check the latest releases, latest updates. Super fucking stoked. Super fucking stoked. Super stoked. Oh. Got some recording to do. Got some yoga to do. Got some more shit to do, but I'm going to go post up on Instagram some shit right now. So I hope you go and follow me over there and check as well. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining me for episode 1193 of the Most Muscular Swolecast, Beercast, Broadcast, Gamecast, Mancast, Pimpcast, Sleazecast, and Slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. And I will see you tomorrow for episode 1194 of the Sleaze. Peace, McGee's fam. Deuce Magoose, your boy, Papa Swolio. Oh, out.